chilly.
It is chilly.
Ooh, I'm gonna go get my tea.
You want some tea?
I'd love some more tea.
Is this your cup?
It is.
Fill her
If
up.
you can figure out the lid, good luck. It just pounds on, but it never feels like it's really on, but so far it hasn't blown off on me. It feels like it should screw on, but it doesn't. I decided when I got home I was not wearing any more turtlenecks this year. So, a short one later. He's cool because he does the stretch. He's a really, really valid stretcher. When you watch him work, you wonder, how did he make that ridiculous high butt? Wilson always says, he's got to be half-quarter horse. He loves to stretch because his back gets tired from working correctly. You look strange behind something that big. Well, there's a lot of big brown butt in front of you. No, you don't look very big behind him. Yeah, and he's very subtle about it. He's not going to do anything unpleasant, but he just, Wilson. Every time Wilson gets him back to the winter, he goes. About the third day, he comes in and he says, "Well, we've reestablished our dialogue." He said we had to discuss it a couple days until he went, "All right, fool, you'll do." And you know he's fit enough to do 2 lessons. No, he's fine. Yeah, he'll do whatever works. Because other than he has to stretch once in a while, he's wicked fit. Yeah. That was a bit of a surprise. Plus, Kieran wasn't really ready for that experience, but he was perfectly happy to do it.
No, but by cones, we were all...
By cones, you had a pretty nice relationship going. And he kind of came out of the dead look and went, "Oh, wait, I think I'm with her and we're playing."
Yeah, and if I come with double clear life, I was like, okay, that works.
Yep, yeah, it was good. First couple days, he was like, "I don't know what we're doing here." And it got very nice. I was like Kieran. I thought he was kind of a wasted soul. He never got the career he could have had.
Apparently he's winning now and
Oh,
riding.
yeah, what's the stout using? She does lots of things. She does Western dressage. She does obstacle stuff. And she goes places and does things. He has a good job. He's a very nice horse. He wasn't even a Conmar line I was crazy about, but he's a very nice horse. Yeah, he would have been good for you. But you would have had a horse. He was not staying a pony by any... I'm not sure this is a pony, but nobody questions it. When your butt's that high, thank you, ma'am. When your butt's that high, it makes your front end. When your butt's that high and your front end's that low, they assume you're little.
Donna's butt's not that high.
It's such a. I was telling them Wilson says this thing's half-quarter horse. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, maybe he is.
But
His mare was just, I don't know.
Well, look at Marcus, the one that Paul May had, same rear end, and not as good a front, and a stallion still.
Kind of had the same neck too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Marcus had a little more expression on the top of the neck due to being
Oh,
a stallion.
so his half brother, one named Major, that Reinhardts have, apparently took him to Raymond a while ago to get trained, and they picked him up early because it was not going well. So now Raymond bought him for this guy that has never really driven a horse before. No, he got this guy.
I
to
never
buy
even
him.
knew they
It's a horse that, like a youngster to Marek that's been handled by Raymond and passed
I never
on
even
to-
knew they had Major. I don't know why they haven't been killed, but Gene has a kind of a nice pinto now that he's doing real well with.
Yeah.
Little thing named True. I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty much backyard bred. But he won the Derby stuff down there for his level at Jennifer Matheson's.
Nice. He actually
And
has
they have another halfie too.
It's the one that was here.
Oh,
It was Rambo, and then it was. What's his name?
does Katie still drive?
I don't know.
I know Gene drives a lot.
I don't
Sounds like
know.
it's raining out there.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's kind of cute.
looks very cute. I saw a picture on Facebook of Gene with True and the Happy, champion on one and reserve on the other. But they're in a good place to play horse because there's lots going on there.
Yeah, I was
gosh.
gonna say, Katie is
Katie,
quite the
Katie
social
gets to
butterfly.
wear her best clothes and
Yeah,
be part of the Aiken scene that I don't want to be in.
it's probably a better environment for Katie.
The silly thing is, you know, we come into it for a friend Joanna who's lived there for hundreds of years, but I'm not even concerned with all the social garbage. When I go there, I see more people that I ever do that I see that I know at home.
You know what, most of the time, there's all the people.
Yeah, I think it's
I
I have a lot of nice friends there from my childhood, but I'm not concerned with the. So tell him the outside rain, not so quick. There you go.
He's like, oops.
It's a lot bigger stride than what I'm used to.
Right, and it's. I think until you know it, it's hard to tell when he's quick, because
It is, he slinks.
there he goes again.
Yeah.
Beautiful lengthen.
And if you use both hands, he's going to crack his neck around. If you keep the inside rein and use the outside rein, he'll come back.
Oh, it's an illusion. He is not
Yeah.
easy to drive.
No, he's not. He's a piece of shit to drive. But Wilson loves him. He says, I have to play with this thing.
I haven't gotten used to
He's
the
fun to drive. 'Cause
pressure to use, because he's very
That-
receptive.
When you drive littles, it's a different world, because when I have to drive minis for people, it's like, jeepers, I can't even figure out where the gears are on this thing. Little bit less. There you go. There you go. Feel it change texture, and he can go faster once he agrees that you're okay and the texture's right. But that's his little bully thing. If he's not sure what's going on, he says, "Let me take over." Ah, that's a good boy.
And he goes, I don't trust what I'm doing.
Yeah, try to carry your hands upward. That's all right, good. Because remember that whatever he is or isn't, in his mind he's half Arab. And the Trakehner's an Arab. So you have to be careful you don't get a hand lower than level, because then they start doing dumb Arab. That's a good boy. And that's plenty, yeah, you're right. That's plenty speed. He's not beyond bumping in the wall if you don't remind him not to. Yeah. Well, he is, you know, I don't know what Jada does.
I drive really close to the wall.
At my
I
house,
bump into it sometimes.
he is trained to go on the wall.
I look at the
Yeah,
wall.
and you do the same thing. So he's trained to run along the wall, and then we just keep our eyes open and push him off before he hits it.
I dink a lot of arenas.
I bang into walls all the time. Wilson's always saying, you're gonna hit something. I said, what? One time I hit 7 pieces of wall and a dressage said,
Whatever, they can't say you're not using the ring,
no,
hey?
God. That damn Francois Bergeron one time, I was sick of him telling me,
Oh,
I need,
he's a stickler.
need to learn to use full arena. I said, Francois, well, it's just you and me, nobody's listening. Did you ever beat me when we competed each other advanced? He goes, oh, no, I couldn't get near your score. I said, then don't you suppose I know how to use the arena? Oh, just what I saw today, Robin. I said, all right, I'm just checking. So, and then we're looking for steady, steady, steady. And as steady as he looks when she drives him, his steady thermometer isn't the bad. There. Now you got it. Let your whip point a little more forward so that, yeah, but good. That takes the tension out of your right arm. And trust me, he knows the difference. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Good boy.
Liking to bounce his head.
Well, he's kind of a monkey. That's why I said because he knows my voice.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to, like.
Well, he doesn't once he agrees to connect. But good boy.
This is the testing. He's like, do I have
He
to? I don't know.
wants a little more connection.
Okay, a little more.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's one that you actually have to make it kind of heavy and then just push him into it.
Yeah, if you have to try to find a little heavy,
There.
like the old Hunter world with Captain Littauer. Pick up the rein. He can come through heavy, and then he'll come out of it, and come up out of it where he belongs. That's a good boy. So, along with everything else you have to do, you have to be the conductor of the orchestra. I'm thinking that he's the hardest test you'll meet because his schooling is so refined that you have to learn for his level. Most of what you get is not going to have his schooling.
He's a very sensitive boy.
He is, and he gets either Wilson or me or Jada. So the three of us, he's got halfway trained. Mm. And that was him saying, "Oh, I'm so good, I'll have a break." Hell, you will. Good boy. Careful. That's a good boy. So I find it's a lot of dialogue, and he doesn't swear at you very often.
No, he just wiggles his
But
head
oh, you
around.
whine and he'll whine and wiggle.
And most of the time he whines until he can like figure out how your hands work.
Mhm.
Like if you just kind of keep
I-
taking a little and saying, "Here, go forward into this," and then
I like to think of my arms
yeah.
as an elastic weight.
Well, and as you drive him and get used to him, once he see he's already better. Once he
Yeah.
starts getting used to you, he'll quit it.
He's actually a tiny bit timid. Yeah, good boy.
Oh, he scares himself.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, "I need somebody. Are you gonna
yeah,
help
he
me?"
is timid, and he truly wants the people he knows. Good boy.
Oh, he needs them.
He does. He's a little passive-aggressive bully. Good boy. Tweak the nose down with the inside rein. Tweak, tweak. There he goes. Good boy. And he didn't mind that at all, did he? So the other thing is you actually can move, and he doesn't mind. What he worries about is when he thinks you went off duty. That's a good boy.
Yeah, you kind of always have to babysit this one.
If he thinks you went off duty, he starts changing positions hunting for you. And it's just the way he is.
All right, so good. Thanks.
Boy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, when you watch him going around, you don't think that he has that mindset, but he does. If you get tight, or even just one elbow or one pectoral muscle gets tight, for some reason he can do with Wilson's left arm, which most horses can't do. But his left
Oh, he
arm.
doesn't mind that.
No, he doesn't mind at all. He loves it. Wilson's left arm is flat, and I gave up trying to fix it. So when you're flat, it's a stiff feel, but he bought right into that.
He likes something to a little bit hold on to. So if his arm is just, but if it's constant, it makes him okay.
It's very consistent and steady, and it doesn't move around a whole lot.
But you know, even
but
if
it does
it's
do
flat,
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even if it's flat, it's constant.
It's steady.
It's like
steady.
a handrail.
And he knows he can trust it. Good boy. He's a lot like driving the little ones, because he's so light, but he's got so much power that he's needy.
And also sometimes
Boy.
his power kicks in, and then he's
you
like,
go.
"Oh, I need more help."
Yeah. He also really wants you to keep your shoulders down. Yeah. He said, that works. Now he came looking for you when your shoulders went down. He's a little bit of an equitation trainer. Careful. Good boy.
And it's funny because he can.
And there he said, I got your message, but I didn't get the aid.
I think this is right.
Good boy.
Hey, did you want me to get Lex? Or do you want me to get Falcon and then? Okay. I'm gonna go get him, and then yeah, that'll work. We'll go a little out of order.
This is nice for you to drive this one. Yeah, I say when we get him each winter, Wilson comes in about the third day and goes, well, we have our dialogue reestablished. He said the one thing you never do is fight with Marek.
Well, then it's how much pressure.
Yeah, the pressure on and off is, and it gets to be a really comfortable thing, but at first it's like, what do I do with this arrangement? Mm-hmm. You've been doing them 5 years?
The air 4 years, Lex I've been driving for 8 years.
Oh, wow. It's been that long since Shay?
I've been hitting Lex and Jay for 3 years.
Wow. Time flies, but then I've been coming here 20 years, so what do I know? Careful, that wasn't a very pretty start. That's the case, so you have to connect a bit and have him go, I hear you, and then go. I know when we were driving, when Jada drives him, we're thinking that we're feeling like we're riding him. We try to make that sort of a connection with him, because again, he gets lost. This is pretty good job. Good job. And lovely, relaxed. Totally different from the first trot he gave you, isn't it? Yeah. And he's got it. Like his stifles pop, his hocks pop. He's traveling quite level and nice. You know, he'd be a wonderful lesson horse, except I don't want to mess with his head that much. Because he will receive other people very nicely, but I don't know how long it will last if they're not, like you're adapting to him really nicely. Good. And your hands up that little bit makes such a difference to him. And he comes hunting for you.
And it feels better.
Doesn't it feel connected?
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like riding, because that's where, you don't ride with your hands on your crotch, but everybody gets in the carriage and wants to drive that way. And it's where your riding arm would go, and to him, it implies flexibility. And then he's perfectly happy. Tweak his nose a little bit to the left. There you go. And that reminds the head, see, it came down to you, and it's maybe 3 tweaks on an inside rein. You're not pulling him around, you're just saying, hey bud, how about you stretch your neck? And he's like, yeah, I gotcha. Good boy. So he's decided you're fine. I hate to have a stinking horse judging us, but the head came up a moment, you just tweak it back down.
I held him.
Yep. And you hold him and wait for him. And he'll do it.
He looks like a beautiful riding
I
dressage horse. Yeah.
I think he'd be lovely to ride. I don't know what it feels like with that butt chasing your seat. But he goes like a riding horse.
Yeah,
And when I'm looking at driven dressage, I want it to look like a riding horse. I don't want it to look like a cart horse. When we were in Holland getting ready for Italy, our judge coach said to me, why does your horse go differently from the others? I said, because I'm always riding him. He said, well, that's what he looks like. He said, I like it so much. Yeah, nice. He makes a nice deviation, doesn't he? It's very flexible. Good old intermediate 7. He died a little right there. Not because you did anything wrong. You just forgot to remind him to come forward. And he's looking in a box, and he's deciding, how far am I going in this box? There you go. Which is something Jada's had to learn about running a marathon, is Hank wouldn't care if he ran into the back of the box. So this one sort of goes, well, I need an input. I need you to tell me about the box. Then you want to drive into the box, he's happy to go there. But he's not going to take you there. That's it. He got happy, huh? Because you told him what to do? And he didn't change stride. He went to your hand. He just needed you to tell him what you wanted. And he really will do anything. I say bad things about him because he was so awful as a child. But he's really quite lovely now. Tweak his nose around. A little too rough, but you got the right idea. And you felt him give. And it's hard to make supple in the right hand because it's got a damn whip in it. So it's got to come from the elbow. But that was a wonderful show in that corner of how much he trusted you. You said, go there, and he said, well, I was going to. That's a good lad. Good boy. He can hear me a little bit, so I cluck at him once in a while. Yeah, well, he goes, though. He keeps going. If the hound hadn't stopped, if the hound hadn't stopped the shit, he'd caught the fox. Yeah, kind of fun. He's lots of fun. That's a good boy. I just wanted a little fancier from behind. I clucked and I got it. And he's nice that way because you cluck and you do get it. Very good. You could have driven him right out through the mirror. If you said so, you did none it. Good boy. I don't get any sense of getting tired, do you? No. He's wicked fit. Yeah, that's the Wilson job. He's decided, and I think it's the right choice. His old Morgan, he said, I just spent $1,680 keeping your old nag in Florida for the winter. Are you going to do something with it? He said, I drove it all the time. I said, yeah, you did. He said, well, I think I'm going to start doing competitive trail with it. Because he said, I don't want to kill myself making a horse out of it if you can't do competitive trail. So he's going to do that. Yeah, drop your shoulders. Good. Good. So he's going to go on the competitive trail circuit. They'll make a man out of him. He's 15. He's been in national park behind a champion, but then he did Western Pleasure with the guy that we got him from. He was beautiful in the walk and the trot. But being a carriage horse, he'd never carriage horse. He'd never done canter, and he has a really pretty teacup canter, but he could only do it one class. So he'd win the first class and then fall apart in the second class. So he didn't have time to fix him, so he gave it to us. He's a pretty thing, and he was, Rich is this cute little gay guy. That's a pretty, pretty horse, and all his Western silver is a lovely package. And he had a job to die for, because he had the motion in the joints. He just couldn't do the teacup canter, which he now can do. He was so worried about him. He paid to have his back completely inspected, so that's one of the reasons we took him, because the back is clean.
So the Western Pleasure was done riding or
Riding.
driving?
The Morgan Western Pleasure horses are some of the prettiest horses in the breed. And they have this very, not really tense, but very round head set. And they have great big brown eyes, and they look out of their pretty silver bridles, and it's pretty lovely.
That's what Aton rides, right?
That's what A10 is. And aren't they pretty Western horses? I love the look.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love the look.
And he does such a great job with them.
And the other thing A10 rode with that Palomino saddle brand. That was very delicious, too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love it.
that's right.
He's a wonderful, wonderful.
I've seen footage of that one. Doesn't he have a black one too? Or,
Yep.
That one too.
Santa Fe Renegade was almost black, and he had a black one, too. Look at that good stretch. He's tipping his nose just slightly, or tell me maybe your left rein was a little bit restrictive. The good news is, he doesn't just whine, he tells you what's wrong. Yeah, and you can read him. He says, I'm telling you, you got an itcher. Tell you got an itcher, you fix it. He's become very honest. And he can actually live in a little bitty barn of ours, in the middle stall, and not bite anybody. He used to bite me every chance he saw me. If there's too much chaos, he gets bitey.
That's out Manchester.
I think he doesn't love Penny screaming. My horse doesn't. She just goes outside. He goes down to the back of the paddock and says, let me know when the dust settles. Connect, and just wait a minute. I'm watching, I'll tell you. There, he said, okay. Now you can drop. Good boy. But he has to give you that little nod when he says, okay. Which he did. He said, oh, I give. Good boy. He said, I'm running away with you now. Ah, good boy. And we know he's a rhythm machine, but sometimes he just has to check and see if you got it. I find him very agreeable. Your hands are a little bit attached to your lap. There you go. It takes a lot of micro motions to drive him. It does. He does not want to set anywhere. He looks so fierce and athletic, but he's actually a big mouse. And I think because of his bad boy days, and maybe partly because of Mary not being hot on her game, Mary's was either too strong or too light, or not wanting to bother him. He got so he wants assurance. He should have been a very good Pirelli horse because he's so smart and willing. But I think he got that it was only a game and not that we were working.
He ran over those guys. Yeah. He ran over the
I'm sure he
people
did.
that they didn't know what they were doing. So, sorry, I shouldn't say it first.
And then he felt the lack of communication. He got upset.
Right.
He had to protect himself.
Exactly. Yeah. No, he didn't have the right
Because
kind of training.
if you were me to do Pirelli with him, he'd get on the train and say, and now, and then, and what do you want? And he liked that kind of game. But he has to understand what the rules are.
No, Jada's done amazing work with him. Yeah.
Because Pirelli done right is a fabulous thing. Pirelli done badly makes me want to
Oh, I
scream.
know. And most people see more of the level 1 people than the level 3, 4s.
Not-
So.
The level 3, 4 people are such fun. Good boy. He decided he wanted to stretch. There you go. And he can. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that the stretch of the test is looking for, is do they have the back strength and balance to stretch and not pull themselves forward into faster. You came out on an ugly day.
I know. Can't do yard work.
Well, that's true.
That was the plan.
Not a yard work kind of day.
No.
Do indoor orchid work.
I did that yesterday. After the yard work.
Remember, the outside rein doesn't pull out, because that's a little stiffness he'll tell you about. There you go.
So Donna's
Careful.
riding Marek for kind of a half hour because Paul went back last night before the thunderstorm morning to Mason City. He was supposed to have a lesson.
But he doesn't do anything
I
bad.
think Jay's gonna maybe do.
He just says, I'm not quite getting all the communication, so stay in touch. That's a good boy. When you bring your hand back in where it belongs, he's happy. Yes, he does. Yeah. That's his idea of you staying in touch. And it doesn't bother him, because he knows you're just staying in touch. He doesn't think that you're communicating in a particular way, just staying in touch. He doesn't go around trying to figure out what it was you were saying. So if you say with your elbow, so if you're spongy, he likes it. That's a good boy. A little bit the head came up, and then went right back down. Good boy. He can stick this thing out pretty easily. Good. Very nice. So you got elbows and you got shoulders. They're both bungee cords. And my favorite thing is when the Dutchman is teaching you and he goes, make the rein spongy. And spongy sounds like it's spongy. Make the rein spongy. Nice and nice, huh? Very nice. Very nice. And you still, he's very relaxed, but you haven't lost any of the spring behind. He stays active.
He actually feels better here than
Yeah.
he has. I'm probably figuring him out.
Well, he's allowed you to connect. You've made enough connections that you like that, yeah, he's going to talk to you. When you watch him, you wouldn't realize he's such a needy fellow. He's a funny little bird. You live with him and you get to liking him.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He definitely has his little issues
Yeah.
at the house,
Well, and when it's time to go out in the evening, it's a race to see who's in a bigger hurry, him, Rudy, or Stan. Because they all want to get out and talk to each other. They want that. Yeah, down the straightaway, he'll always volunteer to get quick. There you go.
Jada, I think.
It's funny because he doesn't see Rudy and Stan during the day. But when it's time to go out, he's ready to see them. Good boy. Oop, oop, oop. Good lad. You can keep that halt, Jenny,
You have
Jada.
favorite halts than I do.
You can keep that halt. What a good chap. That was a nice halt. And he went 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm done. He put all the legs where they belong, and he stood there like, yeah, I'm glued.
Maybe I can get Donna to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, actually, they're forging a nice relationship because you can see him more and more. And she figured out he likes the fingers to stay spongy and then the arm to give the aids. And he's no, you drive with a soft fist, not a closed fist, a soft fist. He loves the
Not a
elbow and the
clenched
shoulder. Yeah. Jada's gonna
I
do
used
that.
to drive him like this.
Well, he gave
But
reason. But
wait.
you know what? He forgot all that, which is wonderful.
Yeah, even like the problems that I have with him now, because he's like
Yeah, but it's,
got a little tension in his neck, is not him jumping up and down.
he has no evil intentions anymore.
No.
He really doesn't. He's a pretty happy soul.
His neck seems to do the, what do I want?
Yeah. He forgets he owns the bottom half. He goes, oh, my neck got away.
Yeah, his neck can go in 2 different directions.
About 4. What is he, 12 now, 13?
Yeah, it's all, I think.
Yeah, I think he
Grown
finally,
up
I think he finally grew up.